Hey, welcome to the channel, J-Dog FPV here. In this video, we're going to talk about getting started in FPV in 2022. What's the cheapest way that's going to get me into the hobby with also giving me dependable drones. So, without further ado, let's get started. We're going to talk about controllers first. Right here, I got a Taranis X9D Plus. This is the non-Axis version, so not the 2019 version. This is the 2015, so I started about that time in the hobby. And then as you can see, I went ahead and got the TBS Crossfire module version 2. There was a version 1, but the TBS, awesome company that they are. They're always innovating and creating new products. So I got the version 2 now, which plugs right into the Taranis X9D. I recommend the older version of this model, not the new Access version, because the Access version is very finicky in terms of binding newer receiver protocols, or even FastGag protocol receivers are a pain in the butt to bind. So for that reason, I recommend the older Taranis X9D. You got all your switches that you could ever ask for. Super comfortable fitting. You could get custom aftermarket gimbal sticks, and then as well as the M9 gimbals that feel amazing. Highly recommend this controller. There's other controllers on the market too that might fit your hands a little bit better. I'm 6'3", so I got some pretty big hands. But they got the TBS Tango 2, they got even FastGag controllers, other FastGag controllers, the QX7, that are, you could be able to put the Crossfire module on the back here. The QX7 does require a modification that requires you to solder, but nothing that you're going to go without the hobby without learning how to solder. So that's our next topic here. So with that, get yourself a good controller. I recommend the QX7 or the Taranis X9D Plus. That's not the Access version. So with that, set that down, and then going to soldering. Got to get yourself a nice soldering iron if you're gonna learn, get into the hobby of FPV. I got a Hakko station right here. I've had this for a little under a year now, but this thing heats up fast. Don't mind the Cine lifter that I'm kind of rebuilding right now. Gonna finish that up soon, but Hakko soldering station, I think it was like $120 or so, but I will have this thing for probably ever. Top of the line soldering station. You can go with a TS100 soldering station that's portable, and you could take that out in the field with your flying, and if you have any repairs that you feel like, hey, I want to go back to flying, pull that out, plug a battery into that soldering station TS100, and go ahead and solder up what you broke out in the field, and sooner or later you can be back up and flying in no time, rather than going all the way back home and sitting at the bench and soldering and wishing that you had something that was portable like a TS100. And then the next thing you want is, depending on where you see yourself flying, like the style, freestyle, cinematic. I am more of a cinematic flyer. We're going to talk about drones. I first started off with 4S drones, but as the years progressed, I quickly went over to 5S, which 5S lipos are going to be easier on your electronics, but still provide the same amount of oomph, just like 6S. but then I jumped to just straight success. I feel like over the years, our components have gotten really good, and I trust them on success power. So I just made the jump up one more cell. So now I'm on success, and I can fly without any worry of sag, really. But with 4S, you're going to definitely get sag if you drain those batteries below about 3.5 is where I would cut off and definitely land. Any lower per cell, you're going to definitely feel that sag. So definitely land. I set my drones, even though I'm not pushing them hard, I land about 3.7 volts per cell, and they'll jump back up 3.9 about storage capacity. So you can do that in beta flight, and super easy to do. But I am on success now, and that kind of provides me enough oomph if I require it for certain emergencies or just overall efficiency. Just coasting and getting that cool cinematic shot that you're going to be seeing throughout the year on this channel. So go ahead and hit that follow button. New video every Friday this year, and we're going to go to a lot of cool places this year. So stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, it means a lot. On to our next topic is 3D printing. What I'm rambling on is expensive. This hobby is very expensive. Not as much as like dirt bikes or cars, I would say, but it is expensive. Be looking at spending roughly about $1,000 US dollars. But take it from me, it's worth it. Gets you outside, gets you seeing a perspective that, you know, only really birds get to see. So I'm really grateful for finding this hobby. A lot of cool people in the hobby. I think you'll enjoy it too. But over to the 3D printer. I have the Ender 3 Pro. I just put a direct drive on there because pretty much in this hobby you're going to be 3D printing parts that are flexible, which is called TPU. And really I don't print a whole lot of PLA, which is harder material, but for a budget-friendly 3D printer that can pretty much print anything you throw at it, the Ender 3 Pro is the one to get. I got the Rotor Riot logo on there, but super quiet. You got different upgrades that you put on it. I got a light over here that I was supposed to mount back on it, but didn't yet. But love it. Does take some tinkering to get the settings right, but for everything that FPV relates around, definitely protecting the GoPros. TPU on this Ender 3 prints like butter. So I'm looking forward to getting the printer going here and testing out that new direct drive. But matter of fact, I am getting a new laptop. So with that, laptops, you want something that can efficiently run simulators on, and something that's not going to be super laggy, because you do want to start off, before you ever start even thinking about flying, you want to start practicing on a simulator. I have a few simulators that I have myself, but I'm going to get a new laptop here in the next couple days that this one, hopefully I'll be able to sell it to someone else, but get a new laptop that can run my programs and simulators a lot more better. So with the simulators, you're creating that muscle memory and throttle, yaw, pitch, roll, and that is going to help you a long ways come summertime, springtime, fall time. you name it. Whatever time you're getting started into the hobby, creating that muscle memory is crucial. And during the winter time, a lot of people don't fly anyways because their fingers get so numb that like they can't feel their fingers and they're gonna crash, or it's awful. So during the winter time, that's when most people go and jump on simulators, race with their friends, create that muscle memory, learn new tricks, and create that muscle memory for when summertime, warm weather rolls around. You're already a professional and you got that muscle memory, and you're doing tricks that some of these seasoned professionals are doing after like a couple of years. So if you're doing 2 to 3 hours a day on a simulator, you're going to definitely show that skill that you've been practicing on a simulator come springtime, summertime. So definitely look into simulators. As far as simulator brand or names that are out there that I recommend is definitely the first one's Liftoff. $20 on Steam, might be a little bit more, but definitely worth it. They just came out with a new update that was like big in physics, so it feels definitely like lifelike. And then the next one is Velocidrone. That one you go to their main site and download. There's DCL, which I personally like, probably my favorite, even though Liftoff has the best physics and gravity and stuff in their simulator. But DCL, I think just graphics and overall multiplayer is really fun. And what is there? There's a DRL, which you might have seen on ESPN, NBC Sports. I don't think they're on ESPN anymore, but DRL has their own simulator, Drone Racing League, and that's where a lot of the championship racers go on TV and compete against one another, like Vanuver, Anub, I name a Jet. So there's a lot. Just to name a few off the top of my head, but NERC, Gab 707. So, but without further ado, let's go on to the next topic, and that is a workbench. You stay positive. I'm trying to stay positive. Sometimes that's not the case, especially in this hobby. You will crash, and a lot of times it's not gonna be pretty. So you're gonna need a workbench that really kind of just like calms you down. You can sit down, relax, and kind of just look at a drone and kind of put it together. So you need a workbench, just kind of chill back, put your little parts here and there. Try to keep it nice and neat, but just like the mechanics at a car shop, they're gonna know exactly where everything's at, and it'll be like a total mess, but they'll still know where exactly their tools are and stuff. But I try to keep it nice and neat, but definitely get a little workbench area set up, and should be golden. So with batteries now, you're gonna need a charger. So the charger that I use is not ISD. It is the Venom Pro quad charger. You can't really see it because it's kind of in there, but yeah. There we go. Bear with me. There we go. So I have Venom Pro quad charger, so I can charge 4 batteries at the same time. I always monitor the charger when I am charging my batteries. I can't stress enough how many times I've seen people lose houses or garages due to not attending their batteries while they're charging. So super important to watch your batteries when they're charging. You want a quality charger, not a bad charger. So I will name a few that you may look for. I will also put some in the description below that are well-known brands. Are not gonna burn down your place the first time you charge a battery. So um, that is, I'll put some links in the description, but just to name a few, like Venom Pro quad charger. They got a duo charger, so you can charge two batteries at the same time. ISD 2 versions. They got multiple versions that are also really good for field charging. So you grab a big, huge 6S battery that's like 20,000 miles or something like that, and you could charge multiple FPV packs, so you know that are only 1,300 miles. So those are nice. And then moving on to that, you will want to know good batteries that you can use. I am a sponsored flyer for Ovonic, so of course I'm going to toss their name out there. And then as well as Tattoo is a good brand. Sorry if I'm hacking their name, but I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. I said it all this time. So CNHL, it's China Hobby Line. Black versions, they're pretty okay. And then for my center lifter, I got Pyro Drone. This is like one of the best brands that I could see that were that had the mAh discharge rating that I was hoping for a huge battery. They also use for the 10-inch long-range drone. And then propellers. You want to run Ethics propellers. Those are really good for freestyle, some cinematic a little bit. For cinematic, I mostly stick with Van Hoover's props. They work really well for kind of the heavier drones that I got. They're gonna be carrying a Hero 10, GoPro Hero 10, so they're gonna be super heavy. So I use their Van Hoover props, and they work really well. So the last thing that you need is a drone backpack, and what I got here is the BPX3, which unfortunately no longer you can get, but there's other brands out there. They got Race Day Quads has their own version. There is Pyro Drone has their own version. Newbie Drone, I think, does. There's like a Torvo something backpack. There's a few that are out there that are really good. If you happen to see a BPX2 or BPX3, definitely snag it. These are still like highly sought after bags just because they fit so much into them. They even have like a drone rain guard, like protective cover that you put over it if it starts raining. Really nice. So I could carry about 3 drones on it, including the big 10-inch drone that's above me. And I could carry like 2 smaller ones that are off on the side here, these straps. So definitely grab yourself a backpack, and you could fit a lot of materials in. Don't go cheap with a backpack. You've already spent about $1,000, as I was saying. You're gonna get a goggles, top of the line remote. One thing to note is if you buy cheap, you will buy it twice. So it's best to just get your quality brand stuff right from the get-go and not have to worry about upgrading after that. So just go ahead. I know it's expensive, but it's worth it. Especially if you see yourself staying put in the hobby. If you need any help, feel free to reach out to me. Mitten Visuals on Facebook or JDog FPV on Facebook. I will help out those who I can. Anything at all, just reach out to me. I will try my best to help out. I know Joshua Barwell's got a lot of messages coming in, so if I could take some slack off his messenger, I will gladly help out some of the new hobbyists that are coming into the hobby. So any questions at all, shoot me a message. And then so I think one more thing I want to talk about is goggles. So bear with me. So don't buy cheap. You want to go, well-known brand. Fat Shark is a well-known goggle company. Top of the line analog versions, you could say. I have DJI version 1 goggles. I did have the DJI FPV drone, but sold that. It just wasn't the same as the drones that we build. So I ended up selling that. Kept the goggles that I had originally from version 1s, so I could use those for my digital builds. But I only have one analog drone left, and that's my long range drone, just based on because it's long range and digital breaks up a lot worse than analog. So with that, I got my HDO2s paired with rapid fire. Rapid fire is the only analog receiver module that I recommend, with second being TBS module. But if you can, jump on FPV Marketplace on Facebook, and I've seen a lot of people sell these for about $80 used. Again, it's used, but any issues, use PayPal Goods and Services, and if there's any issues, you could file a claim. But otherwise, they're like $140, I think, brand new. But HDO2s, I would not get anything else. Having the option to individually adjust each eye is crucial. That's a huge improvement over the previous models. So for that, I recommend HDO2s. They got HDMI as well. So about the simulators, grab an HDMI cable, plug that into your goggles, and now you just have an experience that's just like flying outside. Besides, graphics, depending on how good your graphics card is in your computer. Highly recommend the HDO2 goggles paired with the rapid fire module. You'll get your best experience with analog, especially paired with the newer analog cameras like the Foxier toothless camera or the Cadix Rattles, which are very nice analog cameras. You will have a really nice experience with analog. So I have the MX Air 5.8 antennas on here. So as long as I'm facing forward and the drone's in front of me, I have no issue with range or receiving my video signal to my goggles. So I usually don't fly as much analog anymore, just because digital is so much better, for my opinion. But when I do, and I send that long range drone, I'm using these. So I love it. So with that, guys and girls, if there's any watching, we need more girls in the hobby. I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy getting into the hobby. If any questions at all, shoot me a message on Facebook, JDogFPV, and I will respond as quick as I can. So with that, I look forward to seeing the comments, any questions, and I'm super anxious and excited to see what places I venture out to and explore with FPV this year, and I can't wait to bring you guys along with me. So with that, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.